Well, I would love to do it, but here's the thing. Never mind. It's 9 o'clock. Hey, everyone. What's going on? Welcome back to the MLS Now podcast. I'm your host, Russell. You can find me on social media at Mr. Dangerous. But more importantly, you can find the podcast on social media at MLS Now Podcast. Imagine that. Hey, and you know what else we should imagine? We are starting today exactly on time. The clock ticked over to the time that we normally say we're going to start. We didn't dilly-dally at all. We started it right away. So joining me, non-dilly-dallyer number one, the OG of dilly-dallying, but today, no dallying. Um, if he was from, what is it, Philadelphia, you'd say dilly-dilly. I don't remember which one it is. But anyways, hey, you can find Gavin on social media at Lions Blog One. Gavin, hello.
Good evening. I'm looking forward to the next few weeks of my life because I am not going to be at work. I'm going to be like you, Russell.
Hey,
I'm going to
thanks.
be not waking up, not logging
Not
in.
waking up is not what I do.
Fair. I will be. I'm not going to be waking up and logging into work at 7 a.m. sharpish. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm off work for the next 9 business days. So can't wait.
Excellent. Well, I congratulate you in advance. That does mean that my expectations for you are going to be a little bit higher on the next week's show. So I'm sure everyone will look forward to Gavin having watched every single minute of every single match. No excuses.
There is a high probability that I won't be on next week's show, actually. So put those expectations into the mud.
Absolutely not. But someone who lives up to our expectations week in and week out, who is also here and ready to, oh my gosh, I'm seeing the shirt that you're wearing right now. You can find Beau on social media at MLS Gamut on Blue Sky. Beau, you're wearing a shirt that just says brisket, and I almost lost it the first time I noticed that.
Yeah, actually, I just got done smoking a brisket earlier today, so it seemed apt. So, yeah, yeah, the hostess with the mostest brisket. I'm assuming none of you smoked a brisket today.
I didn't smoke a brisket today. I made some burrito over the weekend.
Oh, you
It's
want to?
nothing like a brisket, but you know,
No, I was like, do you want to educate our listeners and maybe a certain co-host who doesn't know what that is? I won't
no,
mention
I'm
who the
good.
co-host is. That.
That's all right.
Oh,
Uh,
okay, cool. Hey,
different
we could.
different podcast, you know. Listen,
Understood.
that's for the food
Shameless plug
podcast.
time. Shameless plug time.
Yeah, I will exercise some shame today. I'm going to keep us on task. And we're going to dive right into talking about some soccer. Gavin, Beau, a lot of matches as always. But what I want to discuss is, did we maybe see? I don't think we've given enough flowers to Vancouver. Did we maybe see like Vancouver wrong? And are we ready to say that Vancouver might be one of the best teams in the league this year? Just based on how they're doing in CONCACAF, how they're doing in regular season. I mean, I really want to give some love to them because I feel like we
Yeah,
need
kind of
to
kind of
own
seems
up
like a
to it.
no-brainer, doesn't it? I mean, I
Yeah.
had heard a stat where only 3 teams in CONCACAF Champions Cup or League, whatever, have gone to Mexico and basically advanced to the next round, having not won the first leg at their home. It's only happened 3 times, and 2 of those times have been Vancouver in 2025. Um, it's just incredible. And
Incredible.
then not only that, doing this,
And they don't
Vancouver,
even have
are
gold.
we forgetting? Yeah, that they're missing their best player, and that they've got some injuries. They're having to heavily rotate. I mean, Daniel Rios is playing as. I mean, yes, yes. I think that I I apologize to Jesper, and I literally everyone whenever I questioned, getting rid of Vanni Sartini, it turned out to be a move of a genius.
Potential coach of the year candidate in Sorensen, Gavin. What do you think?
Yeah, this team just it feels like they do all the simple things really well, and then that kind of builds up into just scoring goals and getting results and playing good enough defense and just no matter what they do, no matter what game it is, it feels like they're going to go out there and put on a good performance. They're going to keep the ball well, and they have a chance of at a minimum tying the game. At a minimum tying the game. It feels uh, like a long shot to see them lose a match. Very rarely they've only lost one match this season. Um, Maybe even in all competitions. So like I don't know. It's been such a good start to the season. I feel like Sorensen absolutely needs to take a lot of the credit because the team is doing all the simple things really, really at a high level.
And I think what's equally impressive too is that all of the young players are taking steps forward. For years we've been wondering when is Pedro Vite going to go the next step forward. Sebastian Berhalter looks like a freaking MLS All Star. I mean, he's getting good production and consistency out of these young guys, which is equally key. Oh, I mean, literally, it's actually incredible to watch. This is like Wilfred Nance level stuff going on.
And I think
That's
I
a
said
great
last
shout.
week. I think I said last week, Russell, that not exactly that, but like we might be looking back in like 6 or 8 months and just being like, yeah, he's Sorensen. He's the best coach in the league, or he's the second best coach in the league, and no wonder he had this team playing so well. And the same way that we do now with Nancy in Montreal.
We might not even need to look back on that in 6 to 8 months, Kevin. I feel like we're rapidly approaching saying that right now in this
Yeah,
moment.
I mean, we're already at a quarter mark of the season. I mean, this is no longer a small sample size. We're 25% through the season at this point. So, if it had been 2-3 games, yeah, maybe kind of hold off judgment, but it's been this way from the beginning.
I think what's interesting to me is I don't know if you guys saw this. MLS preview had uh, Brian White on for an interview at the weekend, and they were just asking about differences between Vanni Sartini and Sorensen, and everything that we're saying, right? Like how they can retain the ball better in the midfield, that they're doing better going forward, that they can, they have a way to see out matches, right? These are all things that he hit on, and eh, like there is a confidence in what Sorensen is coaching and the players when the response to what's the difference boils down to a roundabout way of saying every single facet of the team is performing better, which is again, I adored Vanni Sartini's system, and I think he will still probably end up having a job in MLS again at some point in the near future. But wow, it's incredible difference.
Yeah, and I mean, incredible. Are we going to go ahead and lead into that game, or?
Yeah, yeah,
I
but
mean,
let's.
it's
We never
crazy to
stick
think that
to the order.
Stuver saved a PK, and that Brian White was marginally offside on another goal. Like this could have very easily been 7-1. Like they could have hung a touchdown on Austin.
Not only that, if Brian White was not marginally offside, he would have had 5 goals in this match. Brian White had 4 goals.
And if he would have taken the PK, he would have had 6.
What is the record for most goals scored in a match in MLS? Because Brian White could very well have tied or exceeded it if he had been the guy to take all of those chances. Like he has to have been close. I feel like just my gut's telling me like 5 or 6 is going to be the record.
I was like, this has like Roy Lassiter 5 goals early in the league history kind of thing on it, but
I'm looking, the little Google AI thing says 4, but that I don't fully trust that.
Yeah, I don't trust that either.
But it says 4 by Timu Puki, Jordan Morris, Daniel Rios, and Tati Castellanos, which is all very recent. So I'm gonna keep digging here, but it's a good question. I'll find it.
Well, clearly it's not recent enough because it doesn't include Brian White.
while he's looking at that, just a fun little trivia question. See if you guys can guess this. Only 3 teams in MLS so far this year do not have a win. Can
Easy.
you name those 3?
LA Galaxy is one of them.
That is correct.
Let's see.
Montreal.
Yeah, Montreal's another one. I think Toronto has 1.
That is incorrect. They do not have
Who they
one.
beat? Who they beat?
Toronto has 0?
Yep.
They
Toronto
haven't
has
beat
none.
nobody.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
The answer
Defending
is
champs.
By the way, the answer is Clint Mathis with 5 goals in 2000. In 2000.
Okay.
Mm.
So he's tied for second with a lot of people.
In the form he's in, he may very well go. Like, he's surely the odds-on favorite for Golden Boot in this current form.
Yeah, Hugo Kuiper's been playing pretty well, but
I would
mean,
say Martinez in New York
Oh.
City, he's been just every week banging in the goals for them, and it doesn't look like slowing down. But yeah, he's going to be in this form if the team keep it up, if he keeps it up, if he can stay injury free. He's going to be in the conversation. Yeah,
both of which are on my Golden Boot team. So
yeah. we need to do an update for that. Maybe we'll do that in a couple weeks.
Yeah, next episode.
That's all right. I also have
we'll do it
Petar
during a
Musa.
break.
Too soon.
All right. Well, we've kind of led into it already. Let's talk about Vancouver Austin. For those who didn't watch, one, go watch this. If you want to go see Brian White just score a million goals. Vancouver won this one 5-1, 6 wins now in the league. They're sitting on 18 points. Unbelievable performance from Vancouver across the season, let alone in this one. Hey, here's another fun fact. Austin had conceded 3 goals all season prior to this match.
And then Brian White said, no more.
Yeah, Brian White's like, hold my beer, hold my poutine. I'll fix that. Like, I want to look at it real quick just to see, like,
I know that
how big of a drop was this?
Vancouver's going to steal a lot of the headlines here, but for the Austin fans that are listening, I do have a nice thing to say. Owen Wolff has looked really, really good this year. He has really leaned into the whole playmaking kind of thing, and it seems like just a lot of, he kind of seems to be their main point of attack at the moment. And so anyway, really good to see from, I mean, that's the one thing. It's, a young American taking step forwards, playmaking in the middle. Gotta love it.
Yeah. I feel like we're going to be regurgitating MLS 360 on this one, but Austin, their defense outside of this match has been quite good. I have zero faith in them, though, from this offense standpoint. Because, Beau, like you said, we're a quarter of the way through the season. What confidence do you have if you're an Austin FC fan that you're going to get production out of all these guys that you went out and signed who are supposed to be one of your most dynamic, exciting attacking trios in the league, and you have 6 goals, and it's not even like all of them are coming from those 3 guys, let alone the fact that it's 6 goals. There are teams in this league who are sitting on, yeah, look at this. Vancouver on 17 goals. San Jose, 16 goals. San Diego, 15 goals. Like,
the theme of all the Texas MLS teams at the moment, though, is that there's not a clear attacking identity with either of the 3 teams. None of the 3 teams really seem to know exactly what they're doing or how to necessarily get the best out of their attacking players. So that's just, I don't know if it's just, a Texas thing or what. I don't know. But insert witty comment here.
The witty comment should be they should make the goals bigger in Texas.
Oh, that was a
pretty
perfect
good.
one. I'm ashamed I didn't come up with that. Good job, man.
Hey, what
That
can I
is why
say?
they
I got
pay you
nothing
the
better
big
to
bucks,
do.
though, right?
Yeah, they pay me the very, 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 very marginal fractions of a cents bucks when Gavin gets around to it. Anyways, Gavin, I don't want to box it totally out of this conversation. Is there anything else you want to add in on this?
No, not a ton. We've already spoken a lot about Vancouver, Austin.
Ooh, Vancouver, huh? Man, what a team!
Literally, Austin. We've also said what needs to be said. The offense is bad. The number of players that they contribute to the offense is bad, in my opinion, and the defense in this game was atrocious. So,
It's almost like there's a coaching issue.
Weird.
Like you have
You
there's
think?
maybe he didn't do too well at another team.
yeah,
This was
interesting.
I mean, people smarter than me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, who's even coaching Austin, anyways? I mean, it's got to be a very prestigious name, though. I mean,
Oh, I
Austin's
mean, dude, it's Emilio Estevez.
Oh man.
Quack, 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 quack. We're the three people that are old enough to get that reference.
I've looked just now. The goal breakdown for Austin is as follows. Jointly tied for the lead on goal scorers, Biro, Pereira, Gallagher, Vasquez, Bakari, Uzuni, all with 1 goal. That's
Nothing
it.
wrong with spreading the love, my friend. Nothing wrong with that.
I'll tell you what, there's probably something wrong with it because they need more. Someone's got to get more goals than that.
All right, who loses their job first? All right, St. Louis, Austin, or New England? Which of those three gets their marching
St.
orders
Louis.
first?
100% St. Louis.
I'm kind of shocked that he made it through this week, personally, but
I think it's St. Louis too.
Yeah,
Disappointing. It's just clearly not a fit though.
he's not, and I think this is a good segue to talk about this match more. And what I will provide as some context here. I saw an interview with Melberg, and someone had asked him about the tactics, right? Like why they're playing so defensively. And Melberg had said something to the effect of, well, when the players aren't confident and when things aren't going well, we shift into a mid to low block when we, because that's what you do when you can't handle the game, right? And that feels very close to throwing players under the bus. And once a coach starts throwing players under the bus, clock's ticking.
Yeah, but I mean, if you watch this game, literally, I think João Klaus single-handedly tried to run him over with a bus with how many chances he missed. I mean, St. Louis, this was one of the most wasteful games I think I've ever seen, of just attempt after attempt and chance after chance and not doing it. I mean, they must have money on trying to get him fired first. That's the only explanation that I can actually figure it out.
I'll tell you right now, the second that match went in 1-1, I was like, oh, this is easy. St. Louis aren't scoring another goal. And immediately I was like, Columbus are probably going to score another goal. Exact score, Columbus 2-1.
5 goals in 8 weeks and 4 straight losses.
Yeah, it's hard times right now. I mean, what do you guys think? Like over under 3.5 weeks?
I'll take under. Ooh. Lutz Fanon still is patient.
I'm going to go over just because this is his first season and coaches in MLS just get that leeway. They just do, for the most part.
But remember that he fired Bradley Carnell when they weren't doing. I mean, they were Bradley Carnell. I mean, they were playing better than this, and he fired him.
Yeah, but Carnell had that first season where he did good, obviously, but he had that first season, and then yes, he fired him. But that was later in the season, wasn't it? That was like midway through.
I mean, it was pretty early, if I recall.
Was it? Okay.
I'll look it up. While we're talking. You go.
I thought it was like a June, July, not May.
Okay, so if it's a June, July, Gavin, and you're keeping Bradley Carnell because
July 1st, you were right.
July.
Okay, so
good memory.
But what keeps Bradley Carnell that long? It's a history of success there. Melberg doesn't even have a history of success there.
Well, yeah, I absolutely, and he doesn't have a history of success outside of the league, right?
But have you seen that jawline?
Yeah, it just feels kind of like almost like a nepotism hire. Obviously, it's not family, but just like family friend. Yeah, we'll get you in the door. But he's failing miserably right now with a good roster.
I think maybe his name keeps him in the door at this point. I mean, the guy was a borderline world-class defender as a player.
Yop Sam was a world-class defender, and he didn't make him a good coach with Cincinnati.
Yeah, but probably bought him more time than he deserved.
Maybe I think there's some other factors there with Nykamp keeping him around.
Hey, and we're dogging on St. Louis, right?
We are dogging on St. Louis. Let's talk about Columbus.
Well, hold on. They should they have been 2-2 in this match?
Yes.
I think they got the offside wrong.
I agree. Yeah. But here's the thing. We have terrible camera angles.
Oh,
in this
horrible.
League.
Offside, VAR offside is barely ever a thing.
It has to be so blatantly obvious. And it's a good and a bad thing, Gavin. And I think we've agreed on this, right? That it's nice we're not refereeing down to the millimeter and pausing the game for 10 minutes because you had to look and draw these lines. And now then, people are like, well, it's the letter of the law, but how do you call that? And you know, people don't want to make a decision now because they're thinking that VAR is just going to do it anyway, so you can't celebrate or anything like that, right? And we've talked about it till we're blue in the face. This one is one of those times that I bet people are like, really wish we had the lines, because that would be, if you without the camera angle, it's hard to overturn it, but if you had the lines, you could probably pretty easily overturn this one.
I think so. And with the newer technology, the semi-automated, it's very quick. It is very quick. We saw, what was it, in the World Cup, or was it the Euros where it was used, and it was just instantaneous. A couple minutes later, a graphic comes up, shows you the proof, and it's pretty accurate. So I like the semi-automated. I didn't like the idea previously of doing the manual lines that they had to do before, and so I was fine with this. But with how bad the camera angles are, I think the next evolution for the league is to integrate semi-automated offsides, and of course goal line technology, which it's pretty atrocious that we don't have that to date already. Most of the leagues that we're trying to compare ourselves with across the world already have that technology.
Fair, yeah. Well, do you have anything?
A
Oh,
few
yeah.
things. I want to jump in. Sorry, you guys were talking. I was looking up a few things on the season. St. Louis's xG on average is about 1.39. So they should be averaging about a goal to a goal and a half a game. Their xG against, though, is over 1.5. So they haven't been as defensively amazing as they go. But this is the one that kind of shocked me. Their failure to score percent is 63%. That is alarmingly high. Like that is just, again, being wasteful. And it's just, and look, sometimes ball go in net, sometimes ball don't go in net. And this could have easily been 4-2 St. Louis, right? They had enough opportunities, but sometimes them's the breaks, I guess. Good on Fan and Still for maybe not being as dramatic and emotional on stuff than as we are. But let's hope it turns around, because the city of St. Louis has really embraced that team, and there's been a lot of the passion really comes through, and those fans in the league deserve a lot better from them.
Here. No disagreements. Gavin, I'm going to assign the enviable task of having to wax poetic about Columbus to you.
Oh man, Columbus Crew defensively, like we talked about with St. Louis, getting all those chances. Columbus Crew defensively were not great in this game. That is absolutely still their weakness, and it has been really the whole time under Wilfred Nancy. So that is one thing that kind of, when I say he's the best coach in the league, he does a really good job at hiding the team's weakness, but it's still there. And if he could figure out a way to improve his team's defense while still keeping the offense clicking, that would be extremely impressive. But yeah, overall, Columbus are amazing. They're still undefeated. They are, a lot of people before the season were saying that Columbus were going to struggle without Cucho Hernandez and Christian Ramirez. And so far, they've been fine. What are they, top of the league, or maybe
they are top of the East, I believe.
Top of the East, but not quite. They're second in the
in the Shield.
In the Shield,
yep.
And it's like, why would they not stay there? Why would they not stay in and around first, second, third place?
Well, let me throw a devil's advocate your way, Gavin. Columbus Crew have won against the following teams: Chicago Fire at home, away to New England, away against DC United, home against Montreal, and then away against St. Louis. It's not exactly, it's not the gauntlet of matches, but do you think how they've won speaks more to it's less about the quality of opponent because they'll just continue to play this style and it will work, even if they're against someone like, say, you know, Miami or Vancouver. If they were to play them, I don't know if they play Vancouver this year. That would be a they do. Oh, that's gonna be a heck of a matchup.
That'll be fun. Yeah, I do think it's the latter to what you're saying. I think it is their system just works. It's shown consistently across multiple seasons at this point, and I think it's going to continue to work, and they're going to continue to be competitive in every single match they play. Now
I
with
don't
the addition of Gazdag, that's going to help as well. Sorry, Beau, go ahead.
no say I'm not maybe as high as Gavin is on Columbus, because while I do think that their current system and the current players they have in that system is continually is going to get them results. Watching the games, they don't seem to have that. Cucho just brought something, man, where it was like, I mean, like in MLS Cup, even it was like, you got to remember, man, he's out there. Like at any point in time, it's like a great white shark just lurking under the surface. Like at any point in time, like he has the ability to do it, and they don't seem to have that. Now, I'm a big Daniel Gazdag fan. Like love the guy, and I'm going to be interested to see how he fits in the system. I think it could really work, but again, that's not Cucho. But at least it gives them another person who can score and create. So I'm interested to see how that turns out. But just they don't seem to have that that superstar presence that they had. The guy who could bail them out. I think it was last year that he had 8, 9 game-winning goals, which hey, they haven't needed so far, right? But season's young.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious to see how it goes. I mean, again, they've got an interesting set of opponents coming up. They've got Miami, they've got Charlotte coming up, they've got San Jose. So it's certainly different looks going to be coming their way here. But that said, we do need to keep on moving because there's still 13 more matches to cover. Bo, I'm gonna default to you actually on this one. I want to hear about Dallas Seattle because Dallas Seattle was, I think, an interesting match in my perspective. I thought Dallas were a little bit more primed to win this at home. So I have to say, I was surprised to see Seattle win on the road. I've not been high on them this year. So I'm curious about your perspective. If you thought this was a fair result, if you thought this was maybe even an expected result.
This is one that didn't shock me. I know Seattle has been coming in, but honestly, Seattle just seems to be Dallas's kryptonite. It's just like they have our number, and they have a confidence just playing against us, and you can just kind of see it. Um, yeah, De La Vega really seemed to be watching, Seattle. Having him back was huge because he's the guy who was just like, let's try it, like, F it. Let's see if this works. And that's where the goal came from, right? He dribbles in, cuts in, shoots, the deflection comes out, and then Musovski's there. Uh, so yeah, I think that, I mean, it came down to that. I was not, again, I don't think Dallas still has attacking identity. It's kind of like, like let's get it to Lucho. He'll make it happen. Right now, it's just a bunch of really athletic dudes. It's what, and that's not shocking because Quill has always that's like been his forte. He wants fast, quick speed, and he's going for that. And that's just what it seems like at the moment. It's like just a bunch of dudes that, hey guys, go out there. It literally kind of seems like, guys, go out there, have fun, and win. I'm sure that there's more to it than that, but that's just kind of what it seems like from the stands. Like I'm genuinely not seeing what the plan of attack is. But losing Musa, Musa was stretchered off the field. It came out today that it was an ankle sprain. However, the severity is to be determined. But I mean, you can get some pretty. I mean, sprains can be gnarly. So we could be looking at a minimum of a month maybe two without Musa, which would be really unfortunate. Now, however, Logan Farrington is next man up, who is no slouch. I mean, heck, several teams have been trying to get him for a starting role, so this is a big opportunity for him. Yeah, one of the just a few things. It's kind of cool being at the game. Certain things you kind of get to see. I noticed. So Dallas was going to 4-2-3-1, and they were starting some guys in unusual positions, and so Schmetzer walks out during warmups, which typically the head coach doesn't come out during warmups. And it's interesting. He's just standing behind the goal and he's watching people, and like Musa had tape on his hamstring, and you just see him. He's like making little notes, like on a piece of paper, and then he just like after like 5 minutes, he just walks in and goes in the locker room. So I just thought it was interesting that it's like these guys are paying attention to a lot more stuff than you actually think they are. But yeah, Dallas, it's just kind of going on. One thing, Dallas is switching out the midfield, and one of the things that I've been kind of looking at substitution patterns, and it's in this because it kind of I got weird nerdy in looking into it, that like Obed Vargas and Christian Roldan are the two center mids for Seattle. They play almost the entire game, every game. Like how many teams? Like, can you imagine? No, but seriously, like think of the luxury of being able to have two quality center mids who just like they start and finish the game. Like Schmetzer's just able to throw out 4 fresh attackers every single time. Like it's just like, oh, defense is tired. Well, guess what? Here's Georgie Manuhu. I mean, it's incredible, absolutely incredible. Another fun weird stat as I was going down this rabbit hole. How many professional first team minutes do you guys think that Obed Vargas has at 19 years old, literal teenager?
6,000.
Yeah, I was thinking 5 or 6,000. He's got to have a lot. He's been around for a while.
He made his debut when he was like, what, 15 and a half? And
Over 16.
Over 8,000 minutes.
1,000 minutes
and
away
he's
from
a
greatness.
literal still teenager.
And didn't he miss a good chunk of last season too?
Yes, from a stress fracture in his back. Like he missed the entire year from a stress fracture. So like I mean the dude is it's just something again. Like I was sitting here talking to my wife. I'm like, oh, like let's watch Obed Vargas, and I was like thinking like this dude's 19. He starts every game, and like central midfield is the hardest position to play. It's just kind of one of the things I was trying to look at of these like like little players and guys that we just kind of take for granted. It's like, well, yeah, Obed Vargas starts and finishes every game as a freaking teenager. Anyway, sorry, rant over. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
It was a good TED Talk. Good TED Talk.
Beau, I got your soapbox right here. I'm putting it right up back underneath the desk for you. Keep it on demand for later in the episode. We'll bust it back out. Gavin, look, it's hard to follow up Beau's insight, but I'm going to have to ask you to make one singular statement about this match.
I'm sorry, I don't have any. I didn't catch this match. I didn't catch the highlights. So Beau's going to have to take the cake here.
All right.
One final stat. This is going to be Gavin. I'll do my Gavin. A final 45 minutes, Seattle outshot Dallas 9-3. 7 of those shots were inside or edge of the box. I know that wasn't Gavin's voice, but I had to try something. I mean,
Beau, I thought you were gonna give a stat, but I only heard Gavin talking.
Why am I always the butt of the joke? Ay. All right,
your voice is just so buttery
smooth.
It can't be duplicated. So you'll have to go with that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, Gavin, you know what? Listen, I know we don't want to let Beau get you down, so let's put you back top of the world. Give me in 60 seconds or less, because this was a 0-0 draw, Orlando versus New York Red Bulls.
Ooh, this one really frustrated me in 2 different aspects. The first is Orlando City need to take the blame, I think, for not getting the win. We didn't finish our chances when we should have. We should have been 2 or 3-0 up at half, and this should have been a comfortable game for us. The Red Bulls offered nothing in attack for the first 75, 80 minutes of the game. And they offered very little in defense too. We really did have some joy in this match, and we just, for whatever reason, couldn't craft the right chances, couldn't execute on the final ball. The shots it wasn't even bad shot selection. It was just we didn't have the quality. So poor offense. And then Rodrigo Schlegel gets another red card. It's a thing he does every so often. I do think that this one's a little unfortunate because the first yellow was extremely soft. The ref was very inconsistent in this match. That's the second thing that really frustrated me was the inconsistency of the refereeing and of handing out yellow cards for certain soft things, but certain other things weren't yellow cards. And the players on Orlando City were getting frustrated. And whenever that happens, we definitely tend to focus more as it's like a club culture thing. The fans, the players, the coaching staff focus way more on the referee than the actual game at hand. So that's the second thing that frustrated me is yet again we allowed a referee to dictate whether we win or lose a match instead of just focusing on the match. So
With experience in this, I think that may be a Pareja thing.
probably
Speaking from experience.
he really, I mean, I was obviously at the game and he just there were multiple times in the match when the ref came over and he was like yelling at him, waving his arms, like just probably calling him all sorts of names, calling him a dumbass, whatever. But like it definitely is a Perea thing. It's a ever since he's joined, it's been a big part of our culture is complaining about the referees. So yeah, this one was frustrating for sure.
Yeah. Well, hey, the good news, Gavin, is out of all the players that referee could have sent off, he sent off the one player who I think made absolutely no impact on the game because it didn't feel like it was 10v11 at any point afterwards. Like,
The
if I,
last so fun. I know you say that, but it didn't for a while. But then Galese went down for a fake injury to just kind of chill everything out, even though we were fine. They got like one semi chance, and Red Bulls made some subs. I think we made some subs. It was like a 4 minute stoppage, and ever since that stoppage, Red Bulls were threatening. They weren't dangerous, I'd say, but they were more threatening. But
menacing.
until that moment, Red Bulls offered nothing, even when up a man.
Yeah, I would have taken this as an under 0.5 on Red Bull's goals if I was
Yeah.
a betting man on this match because
Hey, before we move on, want to know a fun fact about this weekend?
yeah, but I want to hear it
Absolutely.
in the tone of Beau.
I'm not even going to try now. I'm not going to do that.
Man's no fun.
13 of the 15 games were either a tie or decided by one goal. It was a very closely contested weekend of matches.
Or boring
Closely
in the case of a tie.
contested. That seems like a polite way of saying that some of these games were very boring.
There was some real snooze fest. Like, I'm not gonna lie, just watching the highlights of the Orlando one, like I caught myself in the highlights, like checking my email and being like, oh my gosh, no, I'm supposed to be paying attention on this. Like, it was. What was the game as boring as highlights were?
We had chances throughout the
I
first
guess I should say,
half. It was
the second
exciting.
half was the second half as boring?
The second
as
half was boring
Yeah, the
because of
second
the
half
red card.
was like nap time.
Yeah, yep. I considered leaving early because I knew that it was going to go that way, and then it went that way, and I was like, whatever.
Whenever you sat in traffic afterwards, did you regret not leaving early?
So I've got a little trick that makes me not sit in traffic, but if I did have to sit in traffic, I probably would have left early because I would have been like, no, I'm not sitting through traffic for this.
Subscribe to our Patreon for the one trick to not sit in traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Parking enforcement hates this one smart trick. We'll put this in all caps too.
I think it's 3/4 of a mile away on the street for free, and there's like a red light there. And on the other on this side of the red light towards the stadium, there's a long line of people. And on the other side of the red light, I just do a U-turn and leave.
Now
But I
you
just
live in
have-
one of those states where you can U-turn wherever you want, eh?
Yes. Well, I'm probably not supposed to, but I do. There's your trick. There's your hack. No Patreon needed.
All right. Well, hey, since we're on the topic of boring games, let's just go ahead and get this one out of the way. Toronto,
Speaking
Minnesota.
of Cincinnati. Oh, sorry.
Oh, listen, the boring games. Yeah, we'll get there. Okay, we'll get there. We're starting at the top of the boring games, which is Toronto, Minnesota.
I'll take this one. Dude,
Thanks,
Toronto,
Beau. There we go, and that's it.
Toronto, 3 draws in 3 games. Dude, listen to who they drew. Vancouver, Miami, and Minnesota. Robin Fraser's starting to figure something out. Now, they're not necessarily dangerous going forward, but they don't suck. which is something. Minnesota
Do they not
still,
suck?
dude. They got a point against Miami, Vancouver, and Minnesota. Those are three high end, like home playoff level teams.
CONCACAF
And
Champions Cup caveat: 4 C's.
that's a fantastic. Ooh, the force. Ooh, yes, that's a fantastic point, actually. But
Uh,
Minnesota once again cannot defeat a low block. They are a strict counter team. They've got to add that club to their bag, or otherwise everyone is literally just going to kick the ball in the middle and say, "Okay, do something with it. I dare you." And that's all that needs to be said about this game.
yeah, and that is all that needs to be said about that game. Crossing it off the list. Hey, let's talk about something that disappointed me quite a bit. New England Revolution got a win. I'm happy for the players and for the fans. Not happy because that means Caleb Porter got a win. So, I that was unfortunate. Atlanta had a good number of chances, a really good number of chances.
Do you know who
Miguel
led?
Almiron offside, I think. I think there was some Latte Loft either offsides or close misses.
Do you know who led Atlanta in touches in this game?
I,
And
I
last week as well. Give
don't
it
know.
to us,
Brooks
Gavin. Who
Lennon?
is it?
It's Brooks Lennon.
Brooks Lennon.
Yeah.
Brooks Lennon had 16 crosses in this game. Look at all the attacking talent they have, and the main point of attack is Brooks Lennon. That's all. You're doing it wrong.
Yeah,
You're doing it
are
wrong.
what do you do if you're Atlanta? Are we tempering expectations? Is this one of those instances where the talent is so high end on this roster that if you get to summer or you get to, some arbitrary point of the season and you look at it if you're the Arthur Blank and say, I'm paying for a top 3 talent team in the league and you're sitting middle of the table. I don't care if it's a playoff spot, you're fired.
Are we overrating the talent? Like, Moranchuk has been
That's a fair.
underwhelming as heck.
Yeah, that's
That's putting it nicely, Gavin.
Lobojanidze he's had some good moments. Even this season, he's been one of the bright spots at times, but like he's not a game winner week in, week out. He's a moments player. Latte Loth, I think, has been a success thus far. And Amaron has quality, but as we all said, he's not the same player. So I feel like it's the names are being overrated, but really the talent up front isn't as strong as the names suggest.
I think Matt Doyle put it best in his article this week. All of the attacking players are playing the game at different speeds. Latte Loth is playing on fast, and it's just like, and it shows. The balls are coming in too late. They're they're just off. They're not in timing and not in step. One thing I will say, looking at some of the stuff, there's uh, MLS Analytics. If you don't follow them on Blue Sky, highly recommend it. Some incredible stuff. So Atlanta had 17 shots on the game. 8 of those shots were either considered good or great shots. So they had opportunities, and for some reason, it almost just seems like when you watch this, it's like the ball's just not going in the net. Like, and I, we, every single person that's listening to this, you've had, our favorite team. You're sitting here and you're just like, dude, we can't buy a goal. Like St. Louis is going through that too. Um, Opportunities are there, just not taking them, and maybe that's just what's happening for Atlanta. Some of the underlying numbers show they're not as bad as they're playing. But man, anytime you lose to Caleb Porter, I mean, that's just a curb stomp. I mean, maybe not that bad, but close.
It should be one of the 3 strikes for a coach. Everyone gets 3 strikes, right? One of the strikes is if you lose to Caleb Porter, that's one of them.
Another offside decision impacted this game. Do you think that it was the correct call?
I do not. I did not understand it. As a matter of fact, I was actually going to
Mm,
bring this up because I'm like, I don't understand. Maybe you guys saw something I didn't.
No,
I didn't see it as offsides.
I thought it was the wrong call as
Ref has
well.
money on the game. Confirmed.
So
Sometimes, I know we all vaguely understand offside, but sometimes watching referees really makes me question, wait, Do I understand this rule?
It's hard because there's so many different situations that it can be enacted in, but I disagree with this one.
I agree with your disagreement.
It's unfortunate for Atlanta.
Well, hey, good news
But
is
Brooks
they
Lennon's
go
having a
again
good
next
time.
week. Yeah.
He's like, man, this
Hey,
is great.
I don't know if you guys heard, but Noel Buck did not play for Revs.
Didn't make the bench.
Didn't even make the. There's rumors there could be a move afoot for Noel Buck.
Within the league?
Yeah,
San Jose.
potentially. Yeah. I mean, look,
I mean, literally, they've traded every other player. Why would we not just link them anyway? I mean,
Right.
literally, he was his best under Bruce Arena. Heck,
he's
if
20
I'm
years old too.
dude, I would trade. Never mind. This is a little too soon. I've got a fun Chicho Arango stat later.
Are you gonna say you would trade Chicho Arango to New England Revolution for Noel Buck?
I would want cash back, but yes, I would do that. I mean, you're going to sell Noel Buck. I mean, when he plays like he did for Arena, you're going to sell Noel Buck for, I believe the scientific term is metric crap ton of money.
I recognize that scientific term. I learned about it in physics and macroeconomics.
I read about it in a book.
Come on, don't flex on us there, Beau. You know we don't read. We don't do any of the book learning on this episode or this podcast in general. All right, I should probably ask this, Gavin. Have we had any correspondent corners that maybe we forgot to mention for any?
Actually, we have one for this game, but on the other games that we talked about, we have not. So this would be the one.
Toss this one in here right now. Oh, it's from Matt Glenn.
Yeah,
Nice.
from Matt Glenn for New England Revolution. He says, without scoring a goal from open play, the Revs manage to back into a victory with yet another penalty from captain Carlos Gil. Campana, in his return, misses an open chip opportunity against Guzan, and the team's coach and management survive for another week. I want the best for this team, but it is hard to see these players, some of whom clearly have the chops, not being able to put it together. I'll take the 3 points, but the only positive about the next game is that NYCFC, who has scored more goals from open play for the Revs than any actual Revs player, is coming to Foxborough on Saturday. I love Matt's analysis.
Incredible statistic.
Yeah.
Just incredible.
Always.
Hey, great segue to talk about NYCFC versus Philadelphia. And I'm going to, because I know we have a correspondent from Coach Joe, so I'm going to start with Philadelphia instead so we can finish on his. Is the shine of Philadelphia starting to wear off?
I think Ty Baribo just came back down to earth. Isn't that pretty much it?
Possibly, yeah.
Teams have figured them out as well. They know that they're going to press, and so they're playing over them. They're playing over the press, and they're dealing with it a lot better. And yeah, Ty Baribo coming back down to earth. Damiani not finishing his chances still. Maybe that's to come, but yeah, they just were way overdoing it, way super clinical in their opening few games. So yeah, they are back down to earth.
I mean, go back to the I think week 1, week 2. We were saying, dude, teams that press like this, they start off hot when everyone else does. Now, guess what? We're a quarter way through the season. People are figuring out where people are going to be. The mistakes aren't being made all the time. People are much more tidy on the ball. Yeah. Like I said, I told you that. Philly fans, enjoy it while you can.
Lukic isn't scoring every week from 25 yards out.
Damiani, more like not finishy on the. Russell loved that one.
Fan. Many chuckles were had, Beau. Okay. I don't think we need to talk too much more about Philadelphia, though, because this was an NYCFC win. It's 1-0. Gavin, you mentioned a name earlier. You said Martinez for NYCFC. Did not score the goal in this match. But would you like to talk about some NYCFC?
Alonso Martinez didn't score?
Oh, you know what? I read that as A. Alonso. I didn't read the Martinez.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was like, what are you talking about?
Never mind. Martinez did score. Thanks. You know what? That's what I get for using Microsoft Bing as the...
Oh, yeah. That's where you went wrong for sure.
Scored from a tight angle, too, though. To be fair, I don't know if you guys saw it. That was a tight angle.
It was tight. It was an open net, though.
It's true, but I will say I missed that shot 9 times out of 10.
I missed
Probably
that
me
shot
too.
10
Yeah,
times out of 10.
yeah.
Russell
Martinez has
outdoing
been
us.
incredible this season. He has been incredible. I'll have to find his goal total, but I feel like he's got to be at 6 or 7.
I
It
think
feels
this
like
made 5.
5.
I think so.
Dang, it feels like every week he's scoring a goal. But yeah, he's been incredible. The team has been okay, but when you got someone who's putting the ball in the back of the net consistently, it just makes things look a little bit sweeter.
Yes, 5 goals, 7 matches.
Thank you. Let me hit on the correspondent corner from Coach Joe. He says, much different vibe from last week. Really showed up to take it to much hated rival Philadelphia Union. Back and forth game with NYCFC, creating the more dangerous chances. Inevitably, Alonso Martinez pounces on a risky goalkeeper play by the 19-year-old Union goalkeeper and calmly finishes his chance to emerge victorious in the Raquinho Derby. How fun. Hope we got some more cat action for our YouTube viewers.
He's not happy about it.
No, he's not. He looks evil with those red eyes.
Cats are never
Yeah.
happy. Don't fool yourself.
He's never happy. He doesn't want to be picked up right now, but he's a cat, so he has to accept it. He's just complaining as much as possible. I don't think no one can hear you. They can't hear you scream, cat. I have you filtered out.
How did you
All
do
right.
that? How did you
What do you mean? How did I do that?
How did you filter out your cat's
Easy.
noise?
Very easy through the magic of technology.
Do you have it?
Imagination.
Is the microphone only dedicated to your voice and that's it?
The insane part about this, right? Some inside baseball here.
Okay.
I think I've told Gavin about the features of the about the digital mixing that I use in the background, like probably 7, 8, 9, 10 times. And this is still news to Gavin. And I love it, Gavin. And I hope you never change because
I didn't know you could isolate it to your own voice.
Insane what technology can do.
Well, anyways, last thing on this game. Jonathan Shore for NYCFC is 18 years old, and he has been playing really well for them. So just want to give him a shout out because he's played a couple games. He's starting to start more games, and every time he looks like he belongs.
I feel so old.
Sorry, Gavin, but he's 17. Sorry to fact check you there.
He's 17. I thought he was 18.
Yes.
Gavin. No. Gavin.
Makes it even more impressive.
He's 17 until he's 18, okay?
What if I had told you guys a fun fact that his birthday was Sunday, April 13th, and he turned 18 yesterday?
Okay.
But he was
Welcome to
17 when he
manhood, is that what
started.
you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. It's kind of a...
I didn't know that till I
puts us
clicked
in
on
a
his
pickle
profile here, but happy birthday, Jonathan. So yes, he was 17 when he started. Therefore, I think your point still stands, Beau.
I mean, you did say he was 18, so technically you were correct.
We're
I
all
apologize.
correct. We're all correct, except for Russell.
We all love each other. Yeah. Well, that's good.
That is factually correct. Is that I'm never correct. Okay. Beau, now we can talk about DC United Cincinnati. I know you were
Speaking
looking
of
forward to
FC
it.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, speaking of DC United,
Well, now that you mentioned it, Russell,
now that I brought it up, really Nashville.
can you tell me exactly how Cincinnati's entire season hopes are pinned upon
No.
the first start of a 20-year-old?
I can't. It's impossible.
The
It shouldn't.
the
it
$16
shouldn't
million
be.
striker literally standing, watching him go past him, and
Yep.
By the way, was that a foul? Was that a foul? I mean, he literally pushes down, grabs the DC defender's arm, yanks him down, takes the ball, and scores.
In the heat of the moment, I don't know if it was. Watching it back, I become a little bit more on that one.
Like if you were a DC United fan, would you be disappointed? Would you be upset?
I would probably be criticizing on that one.
If only
Now,
we had
I've
a
seen
DC United fan on the podcast who shows up occasionally.
Yeah, if only.
Hmm.
Now, I will say, I wonder if, look, Valenzuela is one of those players that everyone frequently criticizes him as saying he needs to get more physicality in his game. He needs time in the gym. He doesn't play through contact. And I really can't help but wonder sometimes players who have reputations get refereed differently and get different calls because they have a reputation. Like Sergio Santos, I don't think any player on Cincinnati gets more fouls, like in terms of fouls called for them, than Santos. Like the man can draw a foul on any contact. And I don't know how, but like he just has a reputation of like, oh, it's Santos. He gets fouled all the time.
Maybe do you think maybe that's why he's injured all the time, or are those two things unrelated?
I think the injuries are unrelated, but I don't think the fouls help the injuries. I do think, though, player I really want to shout out, right? Valenzuela, great, got the goal. I'm not going to talk about any of the offensive side of FC Cincinnati because I don't think they deserve it. Beau is mouthing something. I can't read lips
Is
either,
it
Beau.
Miazga? Are we going to talk about Matt Miazga being back?
Very, very close. We're actually going to talk about Nick Hagland, who kept Christian Benteke completely anonymous in this match.
Who's Christian Benteke?
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know what it is. Hagland only shows up against big players. Like he's a very solid guy, right? But all of his big games, like I still remember he had a phenomenal match against Zlatan. And it's just like, excuse me, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, like world class, incredible player, and you can have a career game against him, and then it'll be like the next week he'll go, commit the dumbest thing against like a 17-year-old from NYCFC.
I mean, I just looked it up on Bing, and it says his name is Nick Big Game Hagland, so can't be wrong.
Yeah, Bing is always correct. That's a fact.
Always correct.
Yeah, Miazga did appear, Beau. I will say that. Last time he was on the field was June of 2024. He got a season-ending injury, slid at full speed into a goalpost, had to have knee surgery.
As one does.
Terrible. Oh, terrible, terrible injury. I mean, that was
just terrible injury. Just
it was catastrophic. But
I don't think I can say catastrophic in that voice. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We'll practice on it. But yeah, I mean, look, he immediately started doing what FC Cincinnati was missing on defense in terms of communication, in terms of talking, and I think that's
like playing defense.
I think the defensive skill, right? The acumen, the knowledge, the physical ability, those are all good. But I think it's the personality and the ability to bring out a good defensive game from the players around him that Cincinnati will hopefully benefit from the most for the rest of the season.
Yeah, he definitely has a big leadership quality that I think is your Celentano can't provide, being as young and inexperienced as he is. I don't think Miles Robinson is that guy, and Miazga just like some dudes are just like natural born leaders, and Miazga's that dude.
Yeah, he is, and it was very clear from last year once he was gone, and it was clear this year as well. Look, my biggest concern is there's no offensive leadership or identity on this FC Cincinnati side. We've been saying it for weeks. I don't feel the need to dive into it more. I'm not confident in this side's ability to score goals.
Yeah, Vander, that's the one thing I noticed a lot of Portland last year. Vander liked to play hero ball, and I don't know how he plays. I don't know. I've always kind of wondered how he plays, like fits into a system like that, and I don't know. I don't know.
He doesn't fit into this system, and I think the problem is that the rest of the players don't fit into this system either. Like Luca Orishano, right? Luca Orishano was basically ignoring passes to Denki for large stretches of the night. Denki, same thing, was ignoring passes to Orishano because there's no chemistry between them. Like, I don't know how you expect to have any success when your players are like, no, I do it. I win game.
I'll tell you how. It's called preseason, and it's important.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I am so happy for FC Cincinnati to win this. These 1-goal games are not sustainable.
Agreed. And for DC United, I mean, Gavin, I can't think of anything else to say except they live and die with Benteke. I mean, and it feels like that's what we say every week, but maybe you have a different thought.
No, I think they're wasting Benteke, and it's really frustrating to watch. They have the best striker in the league, in my opinion, and they just didn't get him the supporting cast to be able to go and compete. It's pretty frustrating.
Kind of the story of his life.
Yep, unfortunate.
Decent song. Not a great song. Decent song. All right. Hey, you know what? Let's change it up a little bit, guys. We've been talking about some depressing games. Let's talk about one that's exciting, one that was very watchable. Colorado 3, San Diego 2. Turning point of the match for me had to have been the initial Dos Santos PK. I was not happy with the decision-making process. It was needless. Goalkeeper's kind of in no man's land. You're lunging, and look, I think you have every right to lunge for it, right? As the keeper, the ball's wobbling around in the box. You have every right to lunge for it, but you cannot, like, you can't act surprised when if you lunge and there's a player there that you get a PK called on you.
Yeah, I think you got that right. Yeah.
I my initial like gut reaction was just like, why are people so upset? Like, you know, clearly it must have been wrong. He got the ball first then, right? Like otherwise they wouldn't be so upset. And like you see the replay and it's just like, no,
No, it's a
no,
clear
actually
pen.
that's that's just a sorry. I don't know. But what do you got on this one? There's a lot to talk about, but I don't want to dominate all of them.
Yeah,
I got the easy one.
I thought that Colorado dominated the first half. Like the notes I have, Colorado dominated the first half. San Diego tried to make a late run. It wasn't enough. I don't want to take credit on this next bit, so I'm absolutely going to, again, shout out to Matt Doyle. He caught that maybe we're starting to see that San Diego may have vulnerability to two forward setups. Um, you know, Navajo and Yappy started this game, and the other game where I think they ended up losing or maybe drawing, but what was Austin. Austin played two forwards against them, and if you look at the numbers, their possession and everything like that, it just seems like that the way their style of play, that with two forwards they're easier to play through. There's so I don't know. I haven't really had time to kind of sit down and look at some of the passing charts and this and that. Not as much time as I wanted to, because unfortunately this job doesn't pay anything. But
Wait, hold on, Gavin. You said that you were paying Beau $1 million a year for this. What's going on with that money?
Put it all on red again, didn't you, man?
He's
on the ponies.
also paying me $1 million a year, and it
yeah.
evens out too. We
That's
just
true.
keep our money.
Oh, okay, I understand.
Yeah, so but yeah, that's going to be something really interesting to see. I'm kind of curious if next week, if San Diego maybe starts seeing some two forward setups, maybe it's just a fluke, right? But it looks like there might be like the two times that San Diego like actually did go up against two forwards, they lost. Yeah, Austin beat them 2-1 back in March 23rd. So very interesting to see.
Well, they're against Charlotte, so that'll be.
I don't know if they even have two forwards.
Do they have anyone outside of Wilfred Zaha? I guess they have what, Ajamong as well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Zaha is more of a winger, but I meant like, yeah, guys, I guess and Zaha was hurt this week, so.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question. That's going to be a really interesting one, isn't it? They've got.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun game to watch.
It's home for Charlotte as well. Oh my gosh, that will be fascinating. Potential match of the week to watch there.
I could see like a 2-2.
Yeah.
3-1 Charlotte.
Yeah, I mean, Charlotte plays so well at home, but I'm with you, Gavin. I'm gonna hope for the 2-2.
Yeah, this is just one of those games for me, with Colorado, where it's just like the moments just went their way. I think like it was a really close match, ended 3-2. I feel like it could have gone either way, and they just got the ball in the back of the net one more time than San Diego did. But I think there's not a whole lot between the two teams in this game specifically.
I still think that Colorado is the most schizophrenic team in this league.
Yeah,
They
they're all
are
over the
just
place.
like, yeah, I mean, they're going to go out and they're going to look like they did against San Diego, and then they'll go out and looking like, I don't know, this is a playoff team.
Do you think what it would be the odds that Colorado will be LA Galaxy's first win?
70
I
That
thought
those are odds. You know?
I thought Houston for sure was going to be the Galaxy's first win. To me,
No
that was
way.
like that felt like, yeah, Galaxy are just going to figure out a way at home to beat Houston, and I was shocked when they didn't.
That match screamed best case scenario draw for the Galaxy. I don't know. Okay, we we may as well just talk about the Galaxy right now. Who does the Galaxy beat this season?
Do we have to
Like,
keep talking about them? It just seems at some point, do we just keep pooping on the same people over and over?
I mean, it's compelling. Like, I don't get it. How do you only have Ricky Pooch as your like
Dude,
big
this is
out?
MLS. They're going to beat Vancouver or something. I mean, it'd be the most MLS thing you could think of, is them just walking out and just beating someone absolutely silly.
I don't get it. I legitimately I don't understand how there was this big of a drop off for
I
this
mean,
team.
do you think Austin, after getting destroyed the way they just did? I mean, look, dude, they played the New York Red Bulls. The Red Bulls, I don't know what. I mean, yeah, that's 4 more games, but yeah.
Well, either way, Houston gets a draw in this match. Name on the score sheet. Anyone? Do you know, Gavin? Do you know who scored for
I
Houston?
do. I do.
Yeah, Ponce did.
Oh, I was
My
hoping you
last
weren't
pick in the
watching this.
Golden Boot draft is Ezekiel
Yeah.
Ponce.
Let's okay. Let's chat Houston then, since Beau is adamant that we should not be talking about LA Galaxy and the enigma wrapped in a mystery that is that team right now. Let's talk Houston instead. Okay, Houston sits in 13th. That's not much better than LA Galaxy. Is like what do we see that is good? I mean, look, Ponce scoring, good. He needs the confidence. Beau,
Oh, I've got this.
okay.
Okay. So Jack McGlynn, they're finally play. So rather than playing, Houston typically been playing in a 4-2-3-1. Jack McGlynn and Artur is kind of that like deep double pivot. They kind of wanted McGlynn to do that like deep playmaker thing, right? But they've actually now finally kind of pushed him up, kind of what RSL had been doing with Diego Luna. I think he played out on the right. So now he's actually getting more involved in playing as kind of a number 10. So that's huge, right? I think Jack McGlynn he's got MLS number 10 written all over him. And then so you're actually going to start winning a lot more of your battles in midfield now. Then they have a DP number 10 coming in, and then Lawrence Anali and Nelson Quinones should be back in the next few weeks. They're about to have a massive influx of talent coming in here in the next month. Like Houston is in 13th now, but I think in 2-3 months they could be they'll be in the playoff contention for sure.
Wow, that's a prediction. Here's my devil's advocate point, Beau. The LA Galaxy got a red card in the 28th minute. And Houston, they scored in the 14th minute. No further goals came up a man. Not only that, LA
Yeah, but the
Galaxy
Galaxy
got the
scored
goal
on a
back.
goal of the year contender. I mean, Diego
Yeah.
Fagundes, like yeah, that was literally like that will be up for goal of the year. If you haven't seen this, listeners, go and check it out. 25 yards out, Fagundes. I mean, I'm surprised he didn't rip it through the net. I mean, that was just a screamer. So it took a moment of sheer brilliance for the Galaxy to even get a point, and you just can't defend
Yes.
against that.
Agree, but more so it's the fact that, again, you're up a man for 60 minutes. Like, how do you not take advantage of that?
But again, remember, so MLS, so much of this depends upon your in the salary cap league, it's your roster mechanisms, your little cheats that you get, right? Like DPs and U22s, Quinones and Anali and a DP 10. That's literally like half of their roster mechanisms they haven't been able to play with at all year. And so to I mean it's similar to the Galaxy, right? Like, hey, you're missing Pooj, you're missing Paint Seal. Like, yeah, like dude, you're missing two of your DPs. Like you can't expect them. Like, and the Galaxy have been playing better since Paint Seal came back, right? Like if you're watching the games, it's clear. And it's the same thing with Houston. Like they're just trying to hang on and tread water until they get their little roster cheats back in. You can't win in this league if you don't have your DPs and your U22 initiatives.
That I agree with. I don't even know if it's fully the U22s. I think, Beau, it's just the DPs are so outsized in production. The jury's still out on U22s. I think there are some clubs that are using U22 really effectively, and I think there are some that are not using it anywhere near what they could or even should be doing.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. The U22s definitely think, but I think that being able to get young, high energy talent, even coming off of the bench, can really sway the way a game is going. And Houston hasn't even been able to have that. I mean, literally, like Nelson Quinones is like, I mean, that dude's a chaos merchant. Like, you don't really want him starting, but you bring that guy in the 60th minute, running at people with his speed against tired defenders. That'll get you points. Just like Georgie Manu has for Seattle. It'll get you points. You just need the depth, and Houston's finally going to get it. So I know, like, look, I obviously had Houston higher than anyone else, and I'm going to keep banging that drum. I'm hanging on to my stock. You can't talk me out of it. If you guys are selling, let me know. I'll buy.
I got more for you. I'll give it to you discounted. Hey, topic of U22, just because I think Noel Buck is a great example of someone who's going to be a cash trade U22 signing in this league, especially if he keeps not starting or even making the bench for New England. But curious, any other names jump out to you guys as the person who's they're like a homegrown, they're going to be that next person where it's like, well, we want to keep them in the league. We're going to do a big cash trade for them so that we can give them like the max like U22, but they're not going to earn like the DP money, right?
I have a
Okay, so
name.
we're not talking Dejan Joveljic where they like were U22s getting DPs. Is that what you're saying?
Right. No. We're talking about like guys who are right now, maybe like they're a supplemental spot. They might be a homegrown type player. It might even just be a regular old like young gam guy who got brought into the league and was like a flyer signing and turns out they're actually an amazing player and it's like, oh, we need to give them a raise. Uh, and also they're really good and I want them on my team.
The guy who came to mind, it would have to be, I think, this season though, was Gutierrez in Chicago, who I could see a team putting some money down on him, but I highly doubt Chicago sell him. Uh,
Yeah,
so
I think he has aspirations for Europe. So
yeah,
any team who does that, like Chicago's voiding their sell on clause, and any team that does that, I mean, you're just throwing away money because he's going to be gone soon. Yeah, I don't think there's any way, like you said, no way Chicago sells.
Yeah.
I wonder, Sebastian Berhalter, the way he's played this year, if he has played his way into. I mean, look, his dad's the coach of Chicago. They are thin in midfield. I haven't looked at their cap stuff, but they're thin in midfield. His contract is up this year, but he has a team option for next year. Chicago comes in and is like, hey, we'll give you some cash. He comes in and gets a nice little raise for. I don't know if that really qualifies what you're saying, but that would be
Oh
one
yeah,
of
no,
the
I
young. Yeah, that'd be one of the young guys that kind of makes me wonder because I think he's good enough to get a raise. Sebastian Berhalter's like kind of like Kellen Acosta to me a little bit in that he's good enough to be good and a star in this league, but I don't think he's good enough to go and like be like maybe like a star for any like top 5 like league in Europe. It'd be like a Denmark or something like that he would go to, which I don't know what his aspirations are. And heck, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'd go to Spain and just light it up, and we're just seeing everything's clicking for him. I mean,
yeah.
I hope it continues for him. It's been incredible to watch. But yeah, Sebastian Berhalter would be my vote.
I'll give you
I
one more
think that's
name. Oh,
oh,
go ahead.
go
Go
ahead,
ahead,
Gavin.
Russell. Oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
I was gonna say, just to fact check you on this one, Beau. I think it's a great shout because I'm looking at it. His comp is 330,000. You could double that if you're another team, right? You go to Vancouver and say give you 2 million or we'll give you 3 million for Halter. And then you go to the player and be like, hey, we want to double your salary. And now you can slot him as a U22. He hits for, the 200K that is your roster. And you've now got like a pretty good player who could have aspirations for somewhere else.
All right, next name, Nathan Ordaz.
Great shout, man. What? Oh, that's good. That's a good shout. I love that.
Homegrown for LAFC, 21 years old. I think he could be someone that someone comes in, offers him a big package, and he takes it. And LAFC, I think, would be willing to take the money as well, because they're always willing to spend on attackers.
Now, this is maybe kind of fringy, but I mean, literally probably is either just now or maybe about to start entering his prime statistically. But Willie Agata is only 25. Most strikers usually hit their prime in that 26 to 29 range. So he's hitting his prime. That could be a guy. But again, I don't know if that's really within the spirits that you kind of said young guys like Noel Buck. But
yeah, I would say just guys who would be eligible for like that U22. But I think it's, again, Willie Agata could be a good shout because his guaranteed comp for MLSPA has him at 522. That's reasonable. If you're a team that needs, a forward, right? And you're like, hey, we either need a second forward, we want to play a two striker system, or we need someone who can help rotate the player that we do have up there. Yeah, that could work. It's a very reasonable price too. I mean, that's not bad for a known MLS quantity. What are we talking about? What team were we talking about? Were we
Noel
talking about
Buck.
Galaxy Houston?
Oh, Galaxy Houston.
Yeah, okay. Okay. I'm gonna move us on because I feel like we've gotten off topic and that tells me that we want to talk about something else. So I'm gonna let Beau. I'm gonna let you pick a game. And why is it that you want to talk about Chicago, Miami? But I'll let you pick a game.
can I do another one?
Yeah, of course. You can pick another one like Kansas City, Portland.
I will take that. I actually that was funnily enough, I was waiting on this one. Especially after the screenshot you sent in of someone talking about how Portland's the most underrated team in MLS at the moment. And
So
that
for our
just
listeners, just for our listeners, someone dropped a comment a couple weeks back, and I said that if I remembered, I'd bring it up. And they said Phil Neville and the Timbers have to be the most underrated team in MLS. I swear, LOL. The way they're playing without Jonathan Rodriguez right now, after starting the season with a ton of injuries, ... The biggest dark horse in the league. Remember, I told you so.
well, Mr. I told you so. I want you guys to listen to this murderer's row that Portland Timbers have laid down the tracks on. They have beat Austin. They tied the LA Galaxy, the mighty LA Galaxy. They went in. They got a tie. Colorado, one of the most schizo teams ever. They beat the Houston Dynamo. They tied Austin. They beat
Again?
Sporting. Yeah. They've already played Austin twice. Kind of weird. They beat them the first time, tied them the second time. And then look, anyone who's actually like Colorado, not but the actual respectable teams, Charlotte, 2-0 loss. Nashville, 2-0 loss. I I don't know. I understand that they've had injuries with Jonathan Rodriguez. I don't see it. Yes, look, I know that the game was 4-2. If you watch the game, Portland only earned one goal. The other two, actually, Portland's XG was lower than Kansas City. I think Kansas City was at 2 or right around 2, and Portland's was at like 1.2. So if you play that game over, Portland loses the game, basically. I just don't see it. And then Phil Neville going on saying that Ayala is, and I direct quote, this is literally direct quote, he is the best midfielder in MLS. I swear to you, I did not make that up. Now, I'm not as high on him, obviously, as that. Yeah, I mean, Kansas City is actually showing fight and everything like that. The second goal Portland got was an unlucky deflection. The third one, literally, the defender passes it to the Portland player. That was incredibly confusing. The fourth one is an own goal. Like I just like, yeah, Portland's good, and I understand you're missing Jonathan Rodriguez, but Jonathan Rodriguez isn't helping you beat. He's not scoring 2 goals to help you beat Nashville or Charlotte. So yeah, but Kansas City actually showing some fight again with Portland. I don't see it, man. I don't see it. They've had a Charmin soft schedule so far. In my opinion, it has been, they have not played very many hard teams, but coming up, we have this weekend they're playing LAFC, who have been, we'll talk about another schizo team. Who knows what the heck you're going to get with those guys, right? Let's see who else. Who comes after that? There we go.
Oh, then they got the mighty LA Galaxy again.
Galaxy, but then you get San Jose. Man, look at this. Yeah, San Jose, Sporting Kansas City, Real Salt Lake. Is the West just this?
Is the West bad again this year?
I was gonna say, is the West just that bad, or are we finally starting to see? Because like, even in the East, there seems to be some clear haves and have-nots, and it doesn't seem like it's as even. I mean, listen to these teams. Like, do you guys consider Austin a good team?
They're an okay team because
should they be in 6th in the conference?
No.
Any other year, they're a 10th place team.
Portland is 4th in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and again, they've played easy teams, and they have, like, it just goes to show that Portland's going to have to really take care of business this first half of the season, because their second half's going to be quite a run going in. Yeah, man, I think the West is just bad. I mean, I look over here at the East, like Chicago. Chicago's a good team. Like you look at them, they're not great, but they're good. They're in 8th. They're a wild card team. I think you got it right, man. I think you got it right, Russell. I think the West is bad this year.
I'm stewing and hearing the words "you're right" because I don't get to hear that on this podcast very often. So thank you, Beau.
Just mail me my check later, okay? The same fee we agreed, right? You're not going to change it again, right?
No, I would never change it again unless David says so. I mean, as we all know, David runs the show here. Gavin just cuts the checks.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Russell, I want you to talk about Miami and Chicago.
I don't want to talk about Miami. I do want to talk about Chicago, though.
Why is it no one ever wants to talk about Miami? Is it that we're all just so sick of the Messi love? Like, honest question.
We're all
even in the preseason, because we were like, oh, Miami, and it just has become a thing. Like, we're now 8 weeks in, and I feel like there are people who are going to be Messi fans listening and stuff. But like, are we just all kind of sick of like everything's Messi, Messi, Messi? Everywhere we look, it's Messi's face on a billboard.
When I tell you, Beau, that I kept track, it was halftime, right? Apple TV cuts away. They're like, halftime, brought to you by, whatever, okay? First commercial I see, Olays with Messi. And then I get to see a nice assist at Lowe's with Messi, followed by Michelob Ultra with Messi.
No, Michelob Ultra.
I think it's the commercials, right? Like the seeing so much Messi outside of the game. Like when Messi's on the field, fine, I get it. You're gonna see Messi because it's Messi. He's on the field, and that's what everyone wants to see because he's a phenomenal generational talent of a player. I get that. It's the everywhere else that I think now I'm just like, it's too much. I don't want to like show me other players. There's how many players are in MLS? Like 500 something players across this league, 700 something players across this league. Other names exist.
Yeah, I guess it's just that thing of like literally like we're being force fed Miami at such a rate that it's like, like if you eat something and then you get sick and then you have taste aversion to that, to whatever it is. I feel like I'm kind of there with Miami. It's just like Sunday Night Soccer with Miami featuring. It's just like, it doesn't, I'm just, yeah.
Every week they're in a primetime slot, whether it's the early Saturday kickoff, Sunday Night Soccer, the early Sunday kickoff. It is always Miami. So yeah, I think it does just get a little tiring, and it does feel like when it comes time to talk about them, it is like they're Miami. Everyone knows because the whole entire league talks about them way more because that's what they're paid to do, is to shill out Miami while Messi and friends are there.
Hey, did you guys know that Messi's in negotiations for contract extension?
I
with
did know
Miami.
that. I did know that. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, speaking of Miami, Russell, did you know that they played the Chicago Fire this weekend?
Hey, Beau,
And
I did know that. I actually,
and you know
here's
what?
the
It was an actually exciting 0-0 game. Why don't you dive into Chicago for us?
it was okay. I'm gonna tell you right now. I messaged Tim on just as a DM, right? And I want to read out exactly what I messaged to
You
Tim
slid
because
into
I
his
think
DMs.
no, Tim and I talk all the time. And my message to Tim was, this was a weird game. It felt like the Fire on paper were not the favored team. And then you start the match and you're like, you know what? We would take a draw against Miami. And then by the end of it, you're kind of like, man, we really screwed up not getting 3 points.
That was literally almost that's like exactly what I wrote down.
Yeah, I just like, look, it, I screamed Jonathan Bamba's name multiple times for all the wrong reasons on this match. Like, you you had one job. Your job was to put one ball into the back of the net behind that goalkeeper, and you had one-on-ones and you had breakaways and you kept shooting it right at the keeper.
To
Why?
be fair, the goalkeeper was standing in the way.
You know what? You're right. Look, that was rude by the goalkeeper to stand in the way of Jonathan Baum, like putting the ball into the back of the net.
But I mean,
But
that's what Messi and friends do. You know, the league bends to their whims. They let the
right.
goalies stand in the way of Jonathan Bamba.
They even
We
let that
can't
guy use
stand for
his
this
hands.
injustice.
You know, that's the real shame of it, right? Is everyone out there is playing with just their feet, and this guy, they put gloves on his hands to protect his hands, and then they
Sticky
yeah,
gloves,
incredible saves though. To be fair, like
for real.
credit where
Yes.
credit's due.
No,
Some
no, but really, like
phenomenal
zero
saves.
zero draw. But like, if you have like, this is about as exciting as a 0-0 draw as you'll actually ever see.
Yeah, I like there were just multiple players stuck out to me for multiple good reasons, and then there were multiple players that stuck out to me for bad reasons. It didn't feel like there were many anonymous players in this match, which is great to see. Like, I could watch Andrew Gutman all day, every day for the Fire. Great player. He had a
He has been
wonderful game.
incredible this year.
Yeah, I great on him.
So
I could watch Jordi
Gutierrez
Alba.
first. Oh yeah, I was saying this is Gutierrez's first game back. Do you think that he can hack it? So I'm give him a little bit of grace on that. But do you think he's the answer to Chicago as the number 10, or do they need to bring one in and move him out wide?
I want to see a little bit more.
Year over year for like the past 2 years, I've thought he was gonna just really explode and really just turn into someone who's an output machine, and maybe like a 10 goal, 10 assist, 12 goal, 12 assist, real assist, not MLS assist, real assist season.
Was it a real
And
assist?
it just hasn't come yet. He's still extremely young, and he started playing extremely young. But hopefully this season is the season. And people have been saying, "Oh, he needs to go to the 10. He needs to go to the 10." And yeah, that last game wasn't a great showing, but also, yeah, I definitely want to see more. But I'm hoping, because I do have faith that he could just explode one day into a really really strong player in this league.
Yeah, I feel like he could be a good number 10 here, but if he's going to go to Europe, no one else uses the 10, so it's got to be as a winger. And so I just I'm curious what the future holds for him. Or if he's going to be like another Georgi Mihailovic, go over and then not get played in his position and just end up back here in 2 or 3 years again.
This is an insane statistic. We've been talking about how Hugo Kuipers has been having a pretty solid season.
He's a Golden Boot leader, isn't he?
No, he's sitting on
Okay,
5 goals right
he
now.
was okay. He was going into the week at least.
But he's sitting on over 7 expected goals. The man is finding an incredible number of chances. Like I think he's gonna revert to the average at some point. But if anything,
Nah,
this
man,
tells
dude,
me that
look at Greg Berhalter, man. His strikers,
oh yeah, you
Giassi
know that
Zardes, like
you're right.
Berhalter brings out the best in his strikers always.
Yeah, and you know what I've heard is that he actually doesn't need his strikers to score. He needs them to fit the system. That wasn't the direction you wanted to go, Beau, but
That
that's the
was
direction we went in.
that was low, Russell. That was low.
I mean, that was
But,
like Reina's wife low.
but look, either way, if Hugo Kuipers is still scoring, like even if it's 5/7 of his expected goals, he's 8 matches in. He's getting almost 1 xG per match. That's impressive. Like it I know numbers don't tell a full story all the time, but that's an impressive amount
And he's
of chances.
impactful. He's not just someone who require like yes, service helps, but like he's someone who facilitates. He's someone who helps the team in build up as well. He's an all around striker. I feel like he's not just a cross me the ball, please. So
Yeah.
I really like
I mean,
Kuipers.
he's got a good number of key passes. He's got assists. Like he's sitting on 2 assists. He's got 8 key passes. He's involved in every aspect of the game. That's great.
Yeah, and
It's just that he wasn't the guy to make a difference this specific game, unfortunately.
right. And I hope we should also call out that Zinkernagel has really improved these last 3 weeks, and so I think that'll help as well with Kuipers' goal tally.
Yes, I
Agreed.
was openly very critical of him, and he has very much improved. So yes, good shout.
Yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna be the negative Nelly. I want to pump the brakes on him a little bit because I'm not seeing like I'm seeing some good things. I need to see it at a higher or at a greater consistency because I think he also had some chances in this match to make that like really important play, right? And just the final product wasn't there. Like the ball wasn't played just right or it was weighted a little too heavy. So like I think he will be really good. I just don't know if it's going to be this season.
I mean, he's shown improvement, consistency, and that's really all you can ask for a guy in the first season because he struggled pretty mightily, but he has consistently improved week after week, is getting better and better. And literally, you can't ask for any more than that. I mean, you
I
can. It's
can.
just
I
unrealistic.
want 15 goals, 15 assists by the end of next weekend. There you go. You said it couldn't be done. I did it. I asked for it.
Russell and his Caleb Porter style man management.
Yeah. Oh no, Beau. Now who's the one swinging too low? My goodness, my ankles feel like they're broken after that. That was like a yop stomp 2-footed slide tackle verbally.
Gavin, you feeling like talking about LAFC San Jose or Nashville RSL?
Oof.
Or Montreal Charlotte.
Yeah.
Montreal, Charlotte. Out of the three, I guess I lean towards Nashville RSL the most. I mean, it wasn't a great game. It was just two teams that I don't heavily rate going against each other, and the team at home was the much more dominant team on the night. But yeah, it still took until the end of the game to get a penalty to win it. So that I mean, I don't think there's much to add from my perspective, but it's interesting to see how Nashville continued to kind of grind out results over the starting few weeks of the season because I'm sorry I don't fully rate them yet.
I just want to say though that this is Nashville winning without Walker Zimmerman, and that is normally never a thing that happens. So that
That's true.
it needed to be said.
Very true. Very true.
Mm-hmm. That said, Gavin, I'm gonna contradict you. I think Nashville was very dominant only for the second half.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah.
It,
I agree.
Definitely a result that they
yeah,
deserved.
a result they deserved based on the second half. Which again, look, it's still 90 minutes, right? They were the more dominant. They had a better half than RSL, but I also don't rate RSL super high, so
Yeah,
it
I'm
kind
really.
of unnerves me a little bit. Like,
Yeah,
I
but
don't know if
I
you
mean,
saw it.
RSL just kind of came in and parked the bus a little bit, didn't they?
Well, they did, but I mean, it looked like there was some jawing back and forth between like guys like Surridge and Mukhtar and some of the other players. Like, do you now? Granted, that's end of first half. RSL's parking the bus. Very frustrating. Get it, 100%. Does it worry you at all? Like, I mean, it's not like they've shown. It's not like they've shown like a really long, consistent improvement this season. They've shown improvement for sure, but is this just like, is this a wave or is this an actual trend? And I'm optimistic it's a trend, but there's still some concerns.
I think it's a trend. I mean, they're showing they're playing the same way consistently. I mean, they're creating chances, and they did not do that last year at all. So the fact that that's even happening, like Mukhtar actually is looking dangerous. Surridge, we're actually saying his name at times in a way that's not like where was Sam Surridge again. I think it's
Where
a trend.
in the world? Put him on the milk carton. I'm trying to find the Nashville stats, but MLS on their stats website has decided to put all the teams in a random order, not alphabetical, which is incredible.
You know the MLS 22 under 22 like little thing, like the actual list and several things have been down for well over a month. Like if you click on the list for like last year, you can't access it. It's just there.
I
It's
didn't think
just a blank page.
I didn't think
Because yes,
22 under 22 was live.
this is last year's. Like it just is like,
Oh.
yeah. And so being the extreme MLS nerd that I am, I may or may not have been trying to read that a lot lately. But I don't.
Okay, Beau, I pulled up the stats. I'm gonna use I'm gonna use the XG side of things. If you take Sam Surridge and Hani Mukhtar, between those two, you should have 10 goals. You have 4. And yet every other player who's scoring goals for them seems to be overperforming their XG.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting, eh? Is that telling us that maybe teams are saying, well, we only respect Mukhtar and Surridge, so just mark the heck out of them, make it as hard as possible for them to shoot, and if someone else starts scoring, then we'll worry about it then. I mean, so does a rising tide elsewhere maybe finally unlock Surridge and Mukhtar? And they can start getting back to what you would expect of them in terms of what they're creating and the chances that they're being given, because now you have to respect every player on the field for Nashville. It's going to take time for them to establish that other people can score in order to unlock that.
Yes.
Okay.
It was a riveting response, I know. But
yes,
the detailed analysis, yeah.
Detailed analysis. Okay.
No,
Thank
I mean,
you.
I think you kind of nailed it within the question. I mean, yeah. 100%. Like it's one of those, hey, you beat us with who else you have, and everyone else has been like, okay.
Riveting. Dang it, I should have phrased that question much shorter. I feel like I did too much work on that one. That's okay. Gavin, let's make you do some more work.
Oh.
We're gonna save the best for last. So I want you to talk about Los Angeles versus San Jose.
Oof. Do I have to?
Yeah, you do. Unless you want to talk about Montreal, Charlotte, and then Beau and I can talk about LAFC and San Jose instead.
I think the goalkeeper injury in this one really impacted the match. Earl Edwards Jr. did not play well, and it helped LAFC get the 2 goals that they needed to get this win. But yeah, I think LAFC, they kind of started this game as if they were coming off of a high intensity match that unfortunately didn't go their way. It felt like they were still rocking a little bit from the incredible midweek match between Inter Miami, which we didn't get to talk about, but I was really disappointed in the way they approached the last 80, 70 minutes of that game. But yeah.
Wait, the last 80 minutes of that's just all of the game, Gavin.
Well, they started off hot, they got their goal, and then they refused to attempt to play soccer after that, in my opinion. And it was more LAFC versus Miami. They just got more and more defensive, more and more holding on to their lead versus trying to get the killer goal, because we all knew that that away goal still wasn't the killer goal. Like, we all knew that Miami had the opportunity to come back, so they needed another. And I mean, they did have the chances, but anyways, it just looked like they were reeling after that, and was good for them to come and get the win. But they didn't look super convincing in this game, but they got what they needed, so good enough.
I love
All
that.
right.
That's a good way of finishing it, right? Good enough.
I teased earlier. I had a fun stat like an hour and a half ago that I have a fun Chicho Arango stat. So, listener, if you waited around for that, this is your penance or reward. Penance mean up, whatever. Words. Did you know that Chicho Arango already has in week 8, he has 12 shots from outside the 18-yard box. He's averaging 1.5 a game, taking shots from 18, 20 yards out. Minimum. Do you know how many of those he scored? It rhymes with 0. Yes,
Hero
you got it
ball.
right, Russell.
Is it hero ball?
I don't know what it is. If he's just like, I got to run all the way over there.
Look, I'm here for the world where there's a player that someday is just like, he becomes known as like the long range merchant, and people are like, how did you get so good at all these like long distance shots? And the guy's just like, I didn't want to run, so I just like, instead of having to run, I just decided I may as well just score from here.
Right, but hasn't Luca Orjano already taken that mantle? Did he score like 3 from beyond like midfield last year or around half field?
At least 2. One of them was
I
like
was
an
like, I know it was
86 yard.
2. It was stupid, but yeah, it's like, man, you're gonna have to do a little bit better than 18, just outside the 18-yard box to try to wrestle that away from wee little Luca Orjano.
To me, that sounds like coaching, though. Like, that is a high volume of shots from outside the box.
It
It
is. Okay,
feels
I'm
like
glad
it's
someone else.
the
Is there just no creative? I mean, is it just he and Joseph Martinez, or just not? I mean, because like both those guys have been there, done that. They don't seem like the kind of guys that are going to do the off-ball work to help each other out.
No, definitely. It feels like the tactic is, hey, when you get around the 18-yard box, shoot as soon as you have the opportunity. And Arango's like, okay, he's just letting them fly. I wouldn't say it's fully working yet. No, the stats do say the more shots you take, the more goals you score, which makes sense, obviously. But like, they need to be quality shots. They can't just be shots from
Yeah,
35, 25 yards out.
yeah. I mean, Kansas, or was it St. Louis last year, or Kansas City? Like those were the two teams that the led the league in shots from outside the box. It's not a winning strategy. It's just
Yeah.
not. Um, yeah, and weird. I really thought that San Jose was going to be better than they were. You know, Christian Espinoza. I definitely fooled me. I bought into the hype.
I think we all bought into the hype, especially at the start of the year. I mean,
Yeah, but
is
none of
that
you guys were smart enough not to have them second in your Western Conference predictions.
yeah? But
Like I was.
I think I still put them in like 4th though. And look, I put LA Galaxy pretty high up there as well. So we all made mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, at least I didn't have Atlanta winning the Shield, or Cincinnati. So I do have that going for me.
Well, I'll tell you what, Cincinnati's a lot closer to win the Shield than LA Galaxy is,
And water is wet.
and water is wet. All right. Anything else you guys want to add, or should we finally wrap things up and we'll do a light speed recap of Montreal Charlotte?
Yeah, I have a question. Does anyone else not enjoy watching Montreal play, or is it just me?
I don't enjoy watching Montreal play right now. Just right now.
There's not much to be excited about at the moment. I mean, I've
Yeah.
watched their few. I have seen their few games because I wanted to see what they looked like under their new coach, and they looked good in the first game with their new coach. Clearly, new coach bounce.
I just see, like, I'm a guy, like, I like players and not teams, right? Like I tune into games because like I'll watch Miami. I want to see Federico Redondo cook, right? Like I want to see Messi do something crazy. Houston, I want to see Jack McGlynn. Like I'll watch some crap, right? But like Montreal's just one where it's like, oh yeah, Bryce Duke. Oh yeah, Prince Owusu. Oh yeah, huh. Why am I watching this? And that's just, yeah. Sorry, I just had to know if I was. I needed to know I wasn't alone. And thank
You're
you,
not alone.
You guys came in, you held my hand, you walked me through this tough time. See,
Just remember, Beau,
this is what the podcast is for, man. This is it right here. The
when you were
bonds we
walking,
make.
right? When you get to the end of the day and you look back in the dust and the sand of Texas and you see only one set of footsteps, it was Gavin and I carrying you.
Wow, footprints in the sand reference. That is, I'm not worthy, man.
We got to pull niche references out from time to time.
I mean,
Yeah,
at least Toronto has Bernadeschi and Insigne, right? You're like, okay, they have a chance to do something crazy. I don't know. Okay,
game
anyway,
chance.
sorry. I just, yeah. Okay, I'll never walk alone. That's.
He's turned into a Liverpool fan.
No.
I appreciate the disgust at that comment.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. I kind of hate myself for even saying it, but whatever.
I'll tell you what, Beau, that check is getting bigger by the minute. More things you say.
You guys are probably Arsenal fans, aren't you?
Oh yeah,
Both are.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of figured.
Sorry, it's unfortunate for you. 2-1.
You guys know I got to see. This is terrible podcast talk, but I got to see Bukayo Saka play at the in the Dallas Cup. They came over, so I got to see like 16-year-old Bukayo Saka tearing up 19-year-old guys. It was awesome, man. I was like, who is that guy? Anyway,
guess what? Future superstar right there.
Back to MLS. Speaking of Bukayo Saka and Charlotte, rumors to Montreal. I don't know. I tried to wing it back. I tried to do Russell's job, but it turns out it's harder than it looks.
It is pretty difficult.
Yeah, word salad and word spaghetti, right? Like, not everyone can be Eminem and get word spaghetti all over their sweater.
I don't have anything to say about this match. I'm sorry.
There's not much to say about this match. That's why I said I was saving the best for last. It was tongue-in-cheek reference. Charlotte won the match they were supposed to win. Every single team should beat Montreal this year.
The only thing I have is that Pep Biel seems to be carrying Charlotte. Every single time that they seem to score, get something out of, it's Pep Biel. He has been incredible. Liel Abada, I don't know if he's realized that the season has started yet.
Yeah. Hey, while we were going, I updated our Golden Boot draft. So we could do an update before we finish off today.
All right, give it to me.
I guess if you remember kind of who drafted who at a very high level, who do you guys think should be in first place right now?
Almost certainly Beau.
You would be wrong.
Most of my goals came from low middle draft.
Yeah.
I hate that this is gonna be like it's me Bryce in the lead, and it's gonna be like a really large margin.
Bryce is in first place right now.
Latte Loth.
No, he has 28 goals. It's not by a huge margin, but decent margin. 28 goals, 24 non-penalty goals. So he's had 4 penalties go for him. He was first overall pick, so he's got Messi, Evander, Yeboah, Agyemang, Joveljic.
Cheater, got it.
He got Rossi.
Yeah, we should have banned Messi.
He got Rossi in the 6th round. Almiron. He got Vazquez, Christian Ramirez. Luckily for us, he got Giroud in the 10th round.
So it's just his top picks are doing all the work for him, huh?
Well, I think actually his middle ones, Joveljic and Rossi, both have 5 goals, but it's just he is spreading them all across. So that's Bryce.
I don't know, man. You did mention Brandon Vazquez.
Yeah, 1 goal. Second is me, and
cheater.
Cheater.
Ooh.
I had the last pick of the draft.
Yeah,
thank you very much. Hugo Kuipers and Ty Baribo are carrying me for sure, and then I've got I'm spreading the wealth a little bit with a lot of people with 1 goal, I believe. Oh wait, I totally missed 1 player on my team, so actually I should be closer.
Oh, conveniently.
Because Beau, you'll know this off the top of your head. How many goals does Luciano Acosta have?
I want to say 3, but it may be 2.
I think it's 3 too. I only had him down for 1. But yeah, either way, Bryce will still be ahead of me. But I'll be clear in 2nd place with 20. If it's 3 with 26 goals. 3rd is Beau. with 23 goals.
Hey, that's me.
Yeah.
Hey, Gavin.
Brian White is carrying you with 6 goals. Alonso Martinez is helping as well with 5. Rafael Navarro with 4. But you've got 3 players with 0, and that's what's hurting you at the moment.
Who
Jonathan Rodriguez, Lewis Morgan, and Luca Orejano.
Lewis Morgan. Yep. Luca Orejano.
Yeah.
That one stings.
And Bouanga not starting off the season hot is hurting you as well.
Yeah, and I think he was my number 1 pick, which has not been good. But hey, Jonathan Rodriguez is back, so
yeah.
Look out, Gavin! I'm coming for you, man.
David is in 4th on a tiebreaker because he has more non-penalty goals. Latte Loth is carrying him with 5. Jordan Morris with 3, Josef Martinez with 4, and Tadeo Allende with 2. He's got a couple of other ones with Lozano and Sengiz Under and Gabriel Peck. And then Russell with you are last place. Carrying you is Benteke, of course, just like DC United. Standard. Mihailovic has 3 goals. Sam Surridge has 2. Kevin Denke has 3. Suarez letting you down with only 1 goal.
This season. That stings.
Losing Jesus Ferreira and Ryan Gold early on definitely hasn't helped. Zaha as well. So Klaus and Hartl, 2 St. Louis attackers in the same team, definitely not helping too. So
I think Klaus is probably the only person who's really helping me from St. Louis.
Well, they both have a goal. So that's where we're at. Yeah, and you and David are tied with 19 goals.
That's not bad considering the injury situation.
It's not bad, no.
Now, that said, Ferreira, I, in hindsight, am now realizing is going to be 1 goal max.
You guys wanted something kind of funny? There was a thing on Reddit. Someone, a Seattle fan, posted on I think it was Reddit, but it's FC Dallas thing. He goes, "Hey, I have a question for you guys. What is Jesus Ferreira supposed to be good at?" And it was a bunch of like post leagues. Was it a Leagues Cup, Gold Cup? It was like nothing. Like, no, you're just So anyway, kind of fun to see it carry over.
Well, here's the thing, okay? All you have to do is get a therapy person, and you hypnotize Jesus Ferreira to believe that all of his opponents, the names are actually obscure, small Central American or Caribbean island nations. And then he's going to score 3, 4, 5 goals a match.
Can you do that again, but start over with, here's the thing, see?
I cannot.
Here's the thing, see? You got to hypnotize him, I tell you. That's the key. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry, Beau. Be better.
So we're about a quarter of the way through. And somehow, someway, Bryce is leading our Golden Boot.
Just so you know, when you said a quarter of the way through, I thought you meant the podcast, and I looked at the 2-hour mark.
Yeah,
and I was dear God, what am I
we are
signed
only
up for?
a quarter of the way through the
We
podcast.
are a quarter way through the...
Someday, we're going to record a sub 2-hour episode. Not today.
Yeah, hey, if we hadn't done the Golden Boot draft, we actually would have hit it. But the Golden Boot draft, a quarter way through, it had to be done. It needed to be done. It was irresponsible to not do it.
Irresponsible would have been on brand for us, though. You know what else would have been on brand for us? Going over 2 hours and me just abruptly cutting off Beau and Gavin by just forcing us to end the episode. So just as a reminder, you can find Beau on social media at Blue Sky at MLS Gamut. You can find Gavin on social media at Lions Blog 1. He's making the hand sign for Lions Blog 1. You only get to know that if you are a YouTube listener, where you can also find the MLS Now podcast along with all over social media. We're at the MLS Now podcast handle. And just a reminder, you can follow me and my great nothingness of anything other than occasional cat photos on social media at Mr. Danger Russ. So with that, folks, thank you as always for tuning in for another marathon episode, another week of MLS action. Beau, Gavin, listeners, everyone, and as always, my cat. Till next time.
Till next time.